Welcome all you aviation aficionados to this edition of Hangar Talk, brought to you by the College of Aviation. My name is Tom Finnis and I'm coming to you from my Bronco bunker in my very own basement. In today's episode, we're excited because we're going to introduce you to a couple of our faculty members and also a couple of the staff members from the College of Aviation, here to share some of their words of wisdom and their snippets of success. On today's panel, we've got Dr. Gail Rouscher. We also have Faculty Specialist Jessica Birnbaum. We have Program Support Specialist LaTonja Wilson and Recruitment and Outreach Reina Cooke. So with all that being said, let's join our panelists and have them introduce themselves to us. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We're very excited to have some great representation of our faculty and staff here with us on this edition of Hangar Talk. So we're going to start off with our very own Dr. Gail Rouscher. So Gail, if you want to share a little bit of information about yourself and introduce yourself to the prospective students out there.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Gail Rouscher. I am a faculty member at the College of Aviation. I've been here since about 2008, the fall of 2008. I teach mainly in the Tech Ops program. My main focus is on structures and composites, so all the courses related to that and the labs I take care of. I also teach some courses in the flight and administration programs. And I got my start when I was in the U.S. Navy, worked as a jet mechanic there, and spent many years working in the corporate industry as a maintenance technician. And I also am an alum from Western. I got my PhD in educational leadership there.
Awesome, fantastic, and we're so glad to have you as one of our faculty members at the College of Aviation. Professor Birnbaum, so now we have Faculty Specialist Jessica Birnbaum. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, so I am Jessica Birnbaum, as Tom said. I have been teaching here at Western since the fall of 2017. And prior to that, I spent all of my time in industry. My aviation experience actually started here at Western. I was a student here in '99, graduated in '04 with the management degree. And then I did take that with me and I went into industry. My primary focus is in the management and operations side of the house, which is what I primarily teach. However, I do have flight students and some tech ops students in 1200, in meteorology, et cetera. I have worked primarily on the airfield, doing airport operations in Detroit and Denver International Airport. I was there for 8 years, 6 years on the field, 2 years in security. So I have a lot of experience with management, admin, 139, emergency management, all of that good stuff. So, and then in 2017, I moved back home and started teaching here and have been here ever since, and it's very exciting.
That's great, and we love having you here too. So next, we got our very own student progress specialist, LaTonja Wilson. LaTonja, why don't you introduce yourself to our students?
Hello, everyone. As Tom said, I'm LaTonja Wilson. I've been at the college, well, at the university for just shy of 25 years. Been with the College of Aviation for the last 8 years. I am a student progress specialist, working predominantly with our flight students and monitoring their progress, assisting them when needed and with some of their coursework, classes that they may need to take. And I am also alum of Western Michigan University.
That is fantastic. Not only are you an alum and you work at the College of Aviation, you're a former advisor, that's amazing too, but you're also a member of the 25-year club. How cool is that, man? You want to talk about knowledge in this institution, you got it, right?
Yes, I do.
That's awesome.
A lot of it, but not, yeah.
Well, and then lastly, I think probably the craziest one, because she has to work with me just about every day of the week. I think she's been kind of liking this working remotely because she doesn't have to see me regularly. But then is our recruitment and outreach officer, Reina Cooke.
Hi, everybody. Like Tom said, my name is Reina Cooke, and I have the joy of working with him every day in our recruitment and outreach office. I've been with Western since 2015 and in my current role since 2018. And I work primarily with our potential and future Broncos, but also with our current Broncos in providing opportunities like scholarships and internships and planning events with our industry partners. Coordinating visits on campus and also career fairs, events like our fall welcome, and helping out with our golf outing and events like that for scholarship opportunities and also industry networking opportunities as well.
Excellent. And you're too kind to say that you have the joy of working with me. So I think you're the only person that has ever said that. So, but thank you. Anyway, so we've got a whole bunch of brand new students that are coming in the fall, and what we, the goal with this is to kind of reach out and connect to them. Obviously, this is strange times. Normally we'd be doing things like this in person. So, kind of as we go through these things, what we're looking at is how can we connect with the students and what are some things that we can help them in this transition, especially as they move from the non-Western world into the Western Michigan University culture and things. So my first question is going to go to our faculty. So Gail and Jessica, as faculty, how can students look at hitting the ground running when they get to us in the fall, and what are some things that you would suggest to them to make sure that they start off with success?
Okay, I'll go first on there. Always kind of waiting to see who's going to jump in first. One thing that I would say to be proactive, make sure that if you haven't heard from your professors by the week before classes, reach out to them, let them know that you're going to be in their class, ask them what you can expect. I generally will send my syllabi out to the students about a week before class starts so that they see what materials they're going to need for the course and they have everything ready and available. One thing I would like to stress is if you have any questions, ask your questions, whether that be in class, questions about your schedule, how the technology works, anything like that. Everybody here is here to help. Don't be afraid to ask your questions. There are truly no stupid questions. And there's always somebody, if the first person doesn't have the answer, there's always somebody willing to get that answer for you. So if you have any questions, be sure to ask them.
Great advice. And I saw a lot of nodding heads in there. So we're hitting the mark. That's amazing. So Jessica, how about you?
So I agree with everything Gail just said, especially the question asking. It is true, there are no stupid questions, and I've actually found that the more students that ask me questions, it actually helps me often better clarify my material for students, or if something doesn't look right in the syllabus or whatnot, so I can actually help other students because students come to me with questions. So you guys actually will be helping each other because you're probably not the only one who is thinking that or who is wondering the same thing. So it actually is a benefit to all of you as future coworkers of each other and teammates to ask those questions, because then we can kind of get it out to everybody and then we can make corrections if we need to from our side of the house. Also, I would say just to kind of hit the ground running is just, stay connected as much as you can to things that make you feel grounded, just because this semester especially is going to be a little funky with COVID. And so being in the situation kind of in limbo and being away from home potentially for the first time, you want to try to keep those things that make you feel yourself, right? That keep you grounded. So stay connected with your family, your friends, a support system, reach out to us if you need it, because we want to make you successful, right? That's why we're here. We want you to have fun while you're doing it. And so I find that to be very important for students to have this initial transition, this fall semester go smoothly. And then just on top of that, just make this experience your own. Make it what you want. You can't control other people, but you can definitely control yourself and how much fun you have and what you make of this experience. So COVID or no COVID, this will be what you want it to be. So we're all here to help and just be positive.
Amazing. That's great stuff too. Okay, so going to our staff, LaTonja and Reina. Looking at networking, we talk a lot in aviation about networking. And so why should students start networking right away, and who should they start networking with?
As an advisor, a previous advisor, excuse me, as Tom said, when I started here in the college, I was an advisor, and then I moved to this position here at our Battle Creek campus. One thing I repeatedly told students is it's never too early to start networking, whether it's networking with the students on campus in the different student organizations, but more importantly, from a professional aspect. We have at the college what we call College Outlook Day, Aviation Outlook Day, excuse me. And it's very important to get started early. I mean, of course, your freshman year, you probably won't be looking for a job, but you're at least getting out there, making connections, meeting several people in the industry, and a lot of those same individuals will be back year after year after year. And if you keep presenting yourself, they'll follow your progress. And when you're ready to enter the airlines or whatever industry you do decide to go to or go in, you'll already have a leg up because you've already been communicating and keeping in contact with and networking with individuals in the
That's tremendous advice. And I mean, I don't think we can ever reiterate enough to the students early and often and when it comes to networking. Reina, how about you?
Absolutely agree with LaTonja. To reinforce with what she said, it's never too early to start networking, and also who to network with, not only your peers, but industries you might think you're not necessarily interested in. When we have companies from all aspects of the industry visit campus, we still want you to attend, even if you think you want to go to Delta Airlines and a cargo company or a corporate aviation company visits campus. It's important that you go and maybe learn something more about an industry that you weren't aware of before, and maybe might be something you're interested in, and making connections with those recruiters or pilots or aviation managers, aviation maintenance that come and visit. Not only helps you learn more about the industry, but connections within the industry as well. Also, making good connections with your faculty. It's very common for scholarships or internships to ask for recommendation letters from people within your college. So having good connections with a faculty member that you can feel comfortable going and asking, would you be willing to write a recommendation letter for me? Is important to have those options when it comes time to apply for opportunity.
Yeah, and that only comes by getting involved and talking to all of you and the faculty and the staff of the college. That's amazing advice. So, Jessica, you talked a little bit about how fun college can be. It is truly, I think, some of the best times of my life. College was great. But there are some pitfalls that people can fall into from time to time, especially students. So for all of you, what are some of the pitfalls students should try to avoid to ensure that they have a successful start to this aviation journey that they're beginning with us?
So the things that I have noticed more specifically is, I think for students, a big one is time management. When you are coming into Western, you are here on your own. There's no one really helping you. You're completely independent outside of your roommates or whatnot. And so just getting used to time management and making sure that you are getting assignments in on time. Everyone's got a phone, right? Use the calendars, the Google calendars, set reminders, use e-learning to set the alerts up to remind you for tests, for assignments that are due. Because a lot of times students will be like, oh, I forgot, or I had this other class I had to do an assignment for. And make sure you look at your syllabi, because some instructors and outside of the College of Aviation as well might not accept late assignments or whatnot. So it's really important to make sure that you are learning how to juggle all of your classes and your assignments all at once, on top of the all-important fun aspects, of being in school, networking and going out and doing all the exciting things. And so that is a big one that I've noticed.
I would have something to add also, and some of this has already been mentioned by Gail and Jessica as well. I tend to see a lot of students afraid to ask questions. And that is so important, whether it's to your instructor, to your advisor, to any staff member. If you know that, like, no question is a dumb question, number one. Secondly, if you don't ask, you won't know. I've run into quite a few students, especially their freshman year. They're away from home, and their schedule, go to class. They kind of alter their schedule as they get going. The first couple of weeks, they're fine, but then they start to be, well, hanging out and networking a little more. Your first year is your most important year, and your classes your first year are probably going to be some of the easier classes you have. And it's important to go ahead and really focus on those classes, do your work, turn in your assignments, and get your GPA up. Because as you go along, if you find a class or two that may be a little more challenging than your intro to aviation or your first year classes, you have a little wiggle room. Your GPA won't do like a huge drop. So it's very important to start I'm not going to say all your classes are going to be easy, but this will be probably one of the this first year will probably be more easy than the ones after that. And I just think it's important to get your grades up, go to class, please, and also utilize your resources. I just cannot stress that enough. Please don't wait until, and Jessica and Gail can help me with this one. Please don't wait until the last month in the semester and come and say, Miss Wilson, I don't get it. I don't understand anything. Start asking those questions early, because believe me, you're probably not the only one with that question. And our faculty are wonderful. If they can't meet with you during their assigned office hours, email them, talk to them after class, see if you can arrange another time that will fit your schedule. If you have a class during their time, they will work with you. We all will. And if they don't have the answers, or us as staff, if we don't have the answers, we'll look very hard. We will find them for you and point you in the right direction.
I think that's really important. And I would just like to say, I think the support system is important. But say you're away from home or you're an international student or whatnot, think of us as your support system as well. We're here to make sure you're successful. So if there is something going on with you where you're having issues keeping up or getting things turned in, if we don't know, we can't help you. And so we are very compassionate, and we are very open to listening to any issues you might have and being here to make sure you succeed, but we need to know about that, right? So if you feel like you're not getting support, or if there's some other issue that's going on, please come to us as soon as you possibly can. And don't be embarrassed or ashamed if it's something. Like, we are here to make sure that we are here for you, and that you're successful. And we want to make sure that everybody is just safe and doing okay. So just come to us if you have any concerns at all.
I'd like to echo what Jessica and LaTonja have both said. All very good advice, very important things to know. That schedule thing that Jessica had mentioned is very important. And I know most of you will have at least one online course this semester. And just because it's online does not mean it's easier. Does not mean, depending on the course, that you can do it whenever you want. It may require you to be in the classroom virtually at specific times. Make sure you put those in your schedules. List the courses you have, the hours you're required to meet, when things are due. Use that calendar to the utmost that you can. It's very important. It's very difficult as a faculty member to continually, by the same student, get an email each week saying, oh, I forgot about the quiz. Can you please reopen it? Oh, I forgot I was, thought it was the other course that I was in, not yours that was due. So take responsibility for that. Make that plan. If there's a way that we can help you make that plan, or help you find a way to remind yourself, or a best system of what I should do when, work with us. Tell us. we're all here to help you. As Jessica said, we're here for your success. We've already got our success. So that's what we're doing. I'm living the best life I can doing my dream job. I want you to have that same satisfaction from having your dream experience at the university. So that's what we're here for. Reach out to us.
Great advice all the way around. And the takeaways is be proactive, communicate, and don't get behind. My dad always used to say, don't get behind. So I think that's all fantastic stuff. Next question is, obviously, you know, we're in the midst of this wonderful pandemic called the coronavirus. So it's added a whole lot of twists to everything out there. So, and we know that the fall semester is going to look a little bit different for us. But from your perspective and if looking in our crystal ball as best as we can, what do you foresee to be the same for the students, but what do you see maybe some different for the students? And what can we anticipate their experience might be this coming fall?
Well, I'll start with that. I'm not sure that my crystal ball is fully formed yet. It's still evolving, you might want to say. Classes will look different, regardless if they're in person or if they're online or if they're a hybrid or you're looking at synchronous classes, asynchronous classes. They're all different. For instance, tech ops. Tech ops, the FAA requires you to be in the classroom X number of hours to earn the credits that you need for your A&P certificate. Well, starting last spring, we weren't in the classroom. We're still being challenged with that. The labs are the largest challenge, but we were able to do all of our lectures via the web format in a synchronous type system where you were face-to-face, you were gathered together, but you were online. So our classes, when you have a face-to-face, it's going to be smaller in most cases. There will be social distancing. You will be wearing a mask. Those are all policies that have been put in place by the CDC, by the university, by the college, for everybody's safety. So yes, that will be very different. But what's not going to change is you're still going to be able to make new friends. You're still going to be able to do that networking connection. Get connected with other students, faculty, staff, around town a little bit, maybe not as much as you would have last year. It'll be a little bit slower of an uptake, if you will, but immerse yourself in the university, immerse yourself in the RSOs. Those are still going to be meeting, albeit they'll mostly be meeting virtually, I would imagine, at least at first, but make those connections. Get peers from the same program, get peers from the college, get peers from just the university that aren't in any of the programs that you're in, and work with them, have them be your support, have them be your mentors, and make the best out of this. This is your only time to be a first at the university. So make the best of it.
Well, speaking of the crystal ball being very foggy, this has always been important, but especially now more than ever, with how much is probably going to be changing. The situation is not static. So make sure you're in the loop. Put your email on your phone and check it every day. Any changes at all, even on a smaller scale from your professor or from the university and the president's office, will come to your WMU email. And it's very important that you're keeping up to date with that. And that's always been the case, to keep in touch with scholarship opportunities and events going on campus. But now especially being in touch with any changes that might be happening around our college or the university. Make sure you're keeping yourself up to date. Because like I said, changes are probably inevitable with this situation that we haven't seen before, and it's new to everyone. So we're all adapting as quickly as we can, and we want you to make sure you're keeping yourself up to date too.
Excellent, excellent stuff.
And just
I would like to-
what,
Oh, go ahead, LaTonja. No, go ahead.
This will be real quick, just to add to what Reina just said. Checking your email every day is so critical, and using your WMU email, because we are not allowed to email you to your personal email account. So it's very important to do that on a daily basis. Okay, now to you, Jessica. Sorry, I just wanted to add that.
That's important because that does happen a lot. I just want to say, with what everyone else has said, just in terms of from the faculty side, just the things that will be different, obviously, are going to be more of those physical things, the size of the classes, the mass, everything that Gail had touched on. But I think some of the things that are definitely not going to change, at least for the College of Aviation, is our level of acceptance, our culture of acceptance, and of education, the learning that we give to all of you. We are here for a reason, right? We love what we do. We are industry experts, all of our faculty. We want to pass all of that knowledge on to you. And we're telling you basically everything you need to know to be successful that you can take with you when you go into industry. And so that is something that I know will not be changing, is how passionate and how enthusiastic all of us as faculty and our staff members are here to keep that experience, that level of education, and just the connections that you make the same. And just like Gail said, this is your one time, this is the first, and we're not in this alone. None of us are in this alone. We're actually all in it together. And every other college too, in high schools and everybody, this is all, we're in it together. So nobody's alone. You don't ever have to feel that way. But kind of going back to what I said, this is going to be what you make it. So this is our opportunity to make it good, to work together, to support one another. You know, it's not like this is real, not blowing smoke. This is true. We are here together, and we are a team. We are Western Michigan. We are the Broncos. We are a team. So it's up to us to be there for one another. So let's make it good.
All great stuff. And I'd also like to say, I think one of the other things that will be the same is, and you mentioned too, Jessica, is the passion, but the fun. I mean, I saw people smiling and laughing and giggling, and I think that's, we're serious at the College of Aviation, but we also like to have fun, and because if we're enjoying what we're doing, it makes everybody's job, it makes the job in the faculty as a staff a whole lot easier, and the students obviously learn a lot more, and I think I've been working at the College of Aviation for 10 years, almost 11 years now, I think it is, and what a fantastic group of people, and the four of you just kind of summarize all of us at the College of Aviation succinctly. So I want to thank you very much for taking the time to meet with the students this afternoon. I know you've all offered the opportunity to meet with them live virtually too, so we will be offering the live virtual Hangar Talk series, and those dates will be on Tuesday, July 21st at 4 p.m. and then we also have a second one Tuesday, July 28th at 6 p.m. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us and watching the video, and we look forward to meeting you live on those particular dates. Remember to sign up early and often. Be proactive, as our panelists suggested multiple times. Be proactive in signing up, because space for those virtual live sessions are limited. Thanks, and we'll talk to you later.